You know what it is. Mac357, Big Chuck, I see you. The Evening Experience, Funk Flex. I mean, you know what we about.
Hey!
I haven't heard that in a while.
Once again, it's your boy Mac357 and your boy
Big Chuck in the building.
And once again, it's the Evening Experience on the Matrix Studios Network, as well as 87.9 Real Deal FM.
We here, baby. We lit. We live.
Yeah, we here again.
Yeah.
Doing what we do every week, along with DJ Droop in the building. All right, I'm starting off the party right.
Okay.
Before I even get to the heavy stuff.
Okay.
803 Lounge.
Oh.
49 Westfleet Avenue,
Ooh.
Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Yeah.
The man you just heard, Funk Master Flex, DJ Tarzan, in the building.
Yeah.
Along with the one and only Evening Experience.
That's Friday, October 13th.
That is the October 13th date. Mark it in your calendar. Tell everybody. Tell your friend. Tell your mother. Tell a brother. Tell another.
It was Friday the 13th too.
Yeah, that's gonna
and I'm gonna play
deep.
Jason.
Hey.
Well, I gotta wish you a happy birthday.
Very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Mac357 just had a birthday, y'all. The big
Fofo.
No, 24 years young, man.
I'm Fofo. I'm proud of my age.
Fofo.
Yeah, 44, man. That's big. It's major. More life, more blessings. Much love, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Much blessings to you, brother.
So now we start the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to all Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, all people from the islands that are currently dealing with this horrific, tragic storm that hit Maria. She tore down the islands, Category 4. Puerto Rico is suffering at this moment. You're seeing reports of people who are dead, floating in the waters. There are relief efforts there, not receiving those relief efforts because the orange guy is holding stuff back in the airports, not providing the troops. They're standing, doing minimal stuff, if anything at all. I understand it's a coordinated effort that these things be taken care of and that people would, have an opportunity to get the stuff together the way they're supposed to and be able to point out, things that are needed and where they're needed and coordinate the areas where it's safest for people to receive all of the different supplies that are needed. But come on.
Isn't Puerto Rico a U.S. territory?
Apparently. And sometimes that doesn't mean anything because of the fact that you got people that are dealing with their egos.
Yeah.
This is how crazy this guy is. He says, while he was down there, standing in the safest area possible, Melania wished she could be there and she could help with she was standing right next to him. This is how much he really doesn't even give a rat's butt. Don't even know his own wife was standing next to him.
Right.
This is the craziness that I talk about all the time that sits in the darkest days of the White House, I call it. This orange dude has this basically
made a mockery of the presidency.
Pretty much. So most definitely, and we're going to be dealing with that on a very regular basis and speaking to it on a very regular basis and speaking about all of the different, things that we're suffering through at this moment. And we want to just tell people there are relief efforts. There are places that are actually giving or receiving donations properly and want to distribute properly.
Right.
Shout out to Pitbull for sending his jet down there and Mark Anthony for sending his to help cancer patients come here to the U.S. and basically get them the treatments that they needed or continual treatments so that they can be taken care of. I'm going to read this right now. Join us in helping Puerto Rico. The Bronx Draft House, 884 Girard Avenue, Bronx, New York, from Tuesday, September 26th to Friday, September 29th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be taking in a whole host array of different products, from batteries, diapers, pasta, rice, anything that's dry foods, bottled water, soap, shampoo, things of that nature to be sent down. So if you have the opportunity to drop by there, once again, that's 884 Girard Avenue, and be able to, quote unquote, get and give some products, this would be the opportunity to do so. Also check in with Ruben Diaz, Bronx Borough President. Take the opportunity to see what he's currently doing, because he's also coordinating relief efforts as well.
Just want to shout out everybody that's been contributing to the relief efforts. It's a process. It is going to take a little while, but just continue to do what you can and keep doing your part. And, together we'll be able to rebuild all the islands that have been affected by Category 4 hurricane.
So what we're going to do right now, we're going to get into one of the hits from the young man that's getting ready to come up to the microphone and sit with us. And I'm going to build a platform at this moment. I'm going to let you know about this young man, because I'm going to tell you right now, this young man I've been watching for about 5 years now, grinding, doing his best to become that guy. And in actuality, he is that guy. You're talking about a beast on the microphone. I've been in sessions listening to him just lay down them tracks, spit that fire. If I was basically a dealer, he basically is the plug, because he's got relief efforts that you don't understand. If you want that fire for your veins, you want that music that you ain't getting right now, and you want to get your hands up, you want to do something that's going to, let your ears be pleasured. Unlike some of those rappers out there, we got a real artist in the studio right at this moment. And I'm putting a lot on it, because this young man does a lot to make that happen. Once again, you hear me talk about him all the time. Shout out to Justice League. Shout out to Us Never Them Productions. Shout out to produced by Knock Fly Entertainment. I'm telling you right now, the beast is in the building. Cris Streetz, baby. Come on over. Make your way over, brother.
Yeah. Welcome.
Once again, it's your boy Mac357 and your boy
Big Chuck in the building.
Cris Streetz is sitting to my left. I'm telling you right now, yo, go cop that new joint. Go cop that album. Basically, I'm telling you, you don't understand. It's a relief effort. It's a process. It's all of the things in which you want to understand as to what it is. There's a man right now sitting here to my left that brought that flame that y'all haven't heard. I'm telling you, he being played by Hot 97, Drew Ski.
Yeah.
He been played by my big brother, Funk Master Flex.
Flex, let's go.
Y'all don't understand the magnitude of what's sitting to my left.
Man,
This brother has been in-state, out-of-state, working shows.
Trying to work, man.
Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Florida, Miami.
Nah, trying to get to it, man. I appreciate y'all. That's a love intro right there. Y'all built this up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for having me come, man.
It's only right, bro.
Chuck, it's been a while, man. Thank you for bringing me up here with man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I see Us Never Them. Tell them where the concept came from for that actual, idea for the name of your actual company and your logos and.
For sure. I mean, for me, with Us Never Them, it was always like me and a group of friends. We always felt like what we was doing, coming where we was coming from, we wanted to do something positive. Where we come from is a hard place. We all come from the same place, same struggle. No matter pretty much where you from, if you come from, poverty or places that's not in the best light, then, you struggle a little bit. So we always wanted to kind of motivate people, and it was always for us, like having big dreams and aspiring for big things. People always seem to tell you like, yo, you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? They kind of have preconceived notions of what you can do for yourself already. They don't even know you before they even hear anything. So it was always like, we wanted to do something that was like the positive versus the negative. So for us never them is always the positive versus the negative. The people
Right.
that tell you that you can't versus the people that say, nah, we gonna go out there and do it and make it happen.
Right.
So that's what it always meant for us, you know?
Right.
So with that being said, your tracks right now, Hands Up,
Right.
Vision.
Yup.
Name them.
Hit the gym.
Tell me, hitting the gym.
Yeah.
Yo, that joint I heard
You
today.
like that? You seen the video?
Yeah. I'm telling you, ladies, hit the gym. Hit the gym.
Don't lose the, you know,
Okay.
keep it right, keep it tight.
For sure.
Yeah. Keep it tight. But the
good, though?
process is, when you say something that means something.
Yeah.
Trap music, I listen to it sometimes because it's on the radio. But the way you trap, I can listen all day. And the reason why I say that is not because you're sitting here and I know you.
Yeah.
I'm saying it because of the fact that I can understand you.
Well, I mean, you know, to be honest, if you see what's in my iPhone or my iPod, you probably be like, yo, you crazy. I listen to everything, you know what I'm saying? I got an eclectic sound or, you know, ear for music.
Right.
For me, it's just always, like I was just telling my boy, Willie Cobb, shout out to Willie, who came with me on the way over here, and we was talking. Like, I never really go into something with, like, knowing what I want to do. It's all a vibe. Shout out to Knock, my producer, who I feel is, you know, a genius, and Justice League, too,
For sure.
who kind of helped. And I'm open to production. Like, I feel like a lot of artists now just kind of work with a producer, but they don't get produced by a producer. I think
Right.
a producer is not just a beat maker or a person that's out there just pressing buttons. It's actually somebody who brings something to the table and can kind of guide you. Like, if you have the talent, or if you got like a vision, you know what I'm saying, they kind of steer you from going too far, or maybe give you like a little pat in the back to you know, stretch your range a little bit more too. So for me, it's like, I'm from the Bronx, but I also come from the South. Like, I lived in the South for 10 years, you know what I mean?
Right.
Tampa, Florida, and Atlanta, you know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So it's a part of me, it's ingrained in me, man. I'm a huge Outkast fan, huge T.I. fan, Trick Daddy fan. Like, these are the type of things I grew up listening to, as well as my Biggies and my Jay-Z. So I kind of have like an influence that has both meshed in. I like to call myself the best of both, you know what I'm saying? But
And
that's it.
he's right.
Could you expand on that though? The
Yeah.
different types of influences that you had, you know, with different artists.
Well, growing up in the South, man, it was just like, when I came from New York at the time, like, I was just so used to everything that was going on over there. Like,
Right.
you know, when I was listening to hip hop and I fell in love, it's crazy. I got a relationship with D Block and the fellas over there. Shout out to Poobs. And
For
I grew
sure.
up listening, like, my first stuff that I was listening to was like the bad boy era of hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
At that time, that was the golden era for me. I was in love with everything that was coming out of there. So when I moved down south, it was a transition, and I seen like the whole No Limit, Cash Money stuff, and that shit.
Right.
It drove me crazy. Like,
Right.
I really like that. You know what I mean? I
Right.
played sports my whole life, so just kind of like always vibing. And people from me being from New York, with me going down there and playing sports, people always put me on like, yo, now you gotta listen to Trick Daddy. I was
Right.
like, at first, but then I'm like, nah, homie Trick Daddy, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
Thug
right.
Holiday, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, so much dope shit, and so much dope stuff. And Outkast is really, really dope. Outkast is one of my biggest influences, and T.I., like, you know, Tip is Tip. You feel me?
Right.
And I definitely hear some of that influence. Your beats, the
Thank you.
flow,
Thank you.
it's just phenomenal because, like I said, when you say something, one of the biggest hits that, and I'm forgetting the name of it at this moment, and forgive
Ratchet?
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need me a ratchet.
Yeah. I was gonna send it to you.
Now normally I don't listen to ratchet stuff. I talk like this and all that. But that ratchet song was actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
He just
fire.
had a birthday, so he's a little bit
Yeah.
more grown up.
Yo,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
tell you
So,
fire,
how was your birthday?
it was
Did you
definitely
get yourself a
fire.
ratchet? Got yourself a ratchet?
I did something. I actually, right before my birthday, I actually went out and we had an award ceremony with the Matrix Studio Networks. Is next up to the stage. Mr. Commodore was there. We had Chris Rivers.
out to
DJ K.
Chris.
Slay was in the building. My son, the New York General.
Shout out to Nice. That's the homie too.
It was a lot of different people that night, and I of course flicked it up with everybody and did what I do.
Nice.
But the I need me a ratchet.
Yeah.
Yo, one of the biggest bangers of the summer in actuality. That was one of the joints that I heard Drewski put on. That's one of the
Yeah.
joints that I heard Funk Master Flex put on. Tell me how that felt when you first heard yourself popping on the radio. Like you hear, Future and all these other guys. Tell me what was that feeling?
Man, it's a blessing. I look at it like it's a blessing because I built relationships with certain DJs, whether it's been Drewski, Flex, Hip Hop Mike. There's so many dope people over there in the building that kind of support, you know what I mean? So like I've been kind of building these relationships with these people for some time now. And the fact that I'm able to just send them music and then giving me like the A-OK, like, nah, this is one. And then just actually playing it on their own or just like hitting me prior. Like a lot of these people was just like hitting me with videos like, yo, check your email. I just sent you a video and it's a video of them playing it and having somebody record it. So that's love, man. I got to shout out to Hot 97. All the DJs over there have been super, super supportive, man. I appreciate y'all. And shout out to my boy Frank Roth, Elephant in the Room. He's my favorite DJ. That's my guy.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a real.
Where do you see your vision going? Where do you see Us Never Them? What's the pinnacle for your company?
Well, right now, man, I feel like we just starting up. And it's crazy. I just had a real serious hip hop conversation with my boy on the way over here. And I was saying that everything that we kind of done to this point has kind of put us in the position that we in now to really start getting things in motion.
Right.
Everything was cool. Like we went through a time period, I said, where we was like doing, where we was going out to the clubs and we was like, nah, we're gonna buy all the bottles. And everybody gonna see it. So we did that. And then we said, nah, we're gonna throw our own parties, and we was renting out SOBs and every other spot, you know what I'm saying, uptown, downtown, and renting our own spots and throwing our own parties and selling them out. And then we said, yo, that's dope. But then we wanted to kind of learn, you know, and get everything together on the back end with the music and the business side. So once we started learning a little bit more of that, dropping some releases and kind of learning with it, it kind of put us in the position that we're in now. So I see for us, man, big things, man. I just want to inspire people with my music. I want people to hear it and know it's real. Like I told my boy, and we were saying, like, I don't go into the studio with anything in mind, like any preconceived notions of what I want to do. I got to go with a feeling. Generally, I'm just going off the vibe of what's going on, you know, in my day-to-day life or what I'm going through at the time. And I just want to connect with people. I want to make something that people could vibe with and connect with. Like, I don't want to just give you a million bars. Shout out to everybody that does that and has a million bars. I appreciate that too. You know what I mean? I'm a huge hip hop fan.
Right now, we just got a caller that just called in at this moment.
Nice.
Once again, you're on the show with Mac357 and your boy Big Chuck.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, Felipe, Crystal.
What's up, Crystal? How you doing?
Hi, Crystal. It's Jalissa.
Hey, Jalissa. How you doing? I guess it's the crew.
Oh, what's good, Jalissa? What's going on?
That's the real apple bottoms that are currently calling in.
Hi, Felipe. We just want to give a shout out to Chris and you guys. So we're watching you guys live right now.
That's what's up.
Appreciate it.
That's your boy Cris Streetz. It's Mac357. Definitely Big Chuck in the building. But we appreciate y'all calling in and thank you for looking at the show. And tell everybody, tell a friend, tell everybody.
All right, we love you.
We love you all too.
Bye.
Take care.
Hey, that's what's up. That's love.
Yeah.
I see you guys, man. You guys famous up here.
We trying to be.
We trying to be like you, big.
That's why I'm trying to get people like you in the studio.
Yeah,
Come on,
man. A question for you.
Yeah.
So, kind of, what's your thought process when you're in the studio? You hear a hot beat for the first time and you getting ready to go in. Like, what goes on?
Generally, shout out to Knock and my producer Vice. It's just a vibe. I like to create the vibe. Like whether I'm a good energy person, like a big energy person. So like whatever the energy is, if we kind of bringing some homies around and it's a nice little party setting, you know what I mean? I like to create the vibe, create the energy, and I go from there. You know what I mean? Generally, I don't like to pick. I used to kind of. I've been spoiled now, man. My producer Knock is a beast, and for a long time I used to be a very dedicated person where I would write everything.
Okay.
And I would do so much stuff and get everything prepared before I went to the studio. So it was like me walking in and just kind of knocking it out and leaving. But now, for me now, the way I like to do is kind of just create the vibe and just go see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? Have Knock produce something from scratch. I like to pick, you know, we go through samples together, see whatever feels right, you know what I'm saying? Or generally, Knock is a wizard. He'll create some stuff with no samples. And then we go from there, man, just kind of, you know, trying to connect.
And
Make something dope.
I can basically tell you I've seen the organic process happen. His energy, yo, like there's some people who need like Red Bulls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, he has that natural just ability to get in there and start rocking.
Right.
And then
Appreciate it.
I just hear him flow and it's like, it's crazy.
Word.
Thank you.
And it's not like, it's prescribed and he's sitting there reading he literally is coming from here
Off the top.
and it's just a wild thing to see. And
Appreciate
I'm telling you, I'm proud of him.
Y'all
And I
welcome to come check it
definitely
out.
enjoyed having him here because
Thank
it
you.
took me a minute, but I got him in the studio.
That's me. I'm late for everything.
We've been talking about you for about 3 months, bruh.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on me, man. I'm not gonna hold you.
And playing joints for 3 months.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
love. Keep playing them for the next 3.
And I definitely want to get to the clothing line because
Yeah.
us never them,
Right.
yo, the hats, the dad hats, the fitteds, the sweaters.
Need me a couple.
Yes,
know.
for sure. I want to come get y'all sizes, and I promise y'all, no bull.
My size is fat. Just
I got you.
hook
Come
me
on,
up,
man. I got you, man. Custom, we got you the custom order, man. Stop playing, man. Come on.
Come on,
But
man.
yo, let everybody know what your social media is and where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Check it out. Cris Streetz. That's CrisStreetz. That's on all social media. Check out the new joint. We just dropped EP called Pregame. That's 4 tracks, and that's just kind of like a precursor, a short little preview of what we got coming up. And I'm gonna send y'all some joints first. So I'll make sure that y'all get the joints first.
Copy.
Exclusives.
That's real.
You performing anywhere coming up?
We got some shows. I think we out on tour with Jay Critch, but we ironing out details right there. And we also gonna catch some of the shows with D Block on the road with Conway. I know he on with Conway and we're Zelda, so we gonna be on some of those dates as well.
No doubt.
And as well as definitely if you get the opportunity, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Come out to Jersey.
Okay.
803 Lounge. It's gonna be with DJ Tarzan. You're gonna have Funk Master Flex there.
Nice.
It's gonna be a real extravaganza.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Once again, the evening experience will be in the building.
Yeah.
Coming,
for
y'all got
Doing
me.
what we do.
VIP bottles on y'all. I heard.
Yeah, on him. On him.
Hey,
I'll be
look.
standing by the bottle.
Yo, we still gotta pay the bills here, bro.
Nah, I appreciate y'all, man.
Well,
Thank y'all for having
once
me.
again, Cris Streetz is in the building.
Yeah.
You heard me talk about him. Now you see him. He's real.
Yeah. I promise I'm not
Craziness is happening all around us. Right now, Nick's up to the stage, and no further ado, this man is a powerhouse
Yeah.
in and of himself.
Yeah.
7-time Grammy Award-winning producer, Marioso, is in the building.
Yes.
And hands up for that.
Yeah.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah, I'm going to start off with saying thank you for taking the opportunity and time for coming in and sitting with us at this moment.
So I couldn't get to you sooner. It's a little crazy, everything going on right
Yes,
now.
sir. Yes, sir. The reason why he couldn't come the last time was because his brother was dealing with the.
Yeah, I have a brother who lives in who lives in St. Thomas.
Got you.
So I couldn't hear from him for days.
Right.
When I finally heard from him, I was like, "Yo,"
Yeah.
But he's doing good now.
Good,
He's
good.
actually he's in a safe place right now. He's in a good situation. So
God
at
bless.
least I know he's good. Now I'm just dealing with the whole Puerto Rico thing. So
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
Where do I start? You started off as a young man who basically saw something, heard something, and you created an incredible career out of it. There's not many people who I know, sometimes they see something, they try something, and then they go, it was cool. But you actually created a legacy out of it by creating Marioso, your corporation, and basically your production company, which created some of the biggest joints. You work with the likes of Saya Cruz, who I respect and I love.
I don't try to say that, I created a lot of that. I was a part of it. I try to say I was a part of it. I never try to take the credit for saying I created. First of all, I could never say I could take credit.
Humble man.
I could never say I take credit for something like a Celia or a Tego or Wisin Yandel or Ricky Martin. Anybody. I can't say. I've been fortunate to work so hard from the ground up and be a part of something big. And, you know, they reach out to me. They see what I can do. They was like, I want to incorporate you in my next big thing. And then, you know, we grow together like that. If I were to say I created this, no, I could never take that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes, they came with the talent, but so did you, because your production in of itself is not only what got them the awards that they received, as well as you received. It's an incredible process to see someone like yourself, you know, starting off like I read in your bio as an intern, you know, running and getting coffee, and then people taking you serious from DJing and giving you an opportunity, and you know, as you progress, you just move forward to a point where now you have your own production company.
And you know, that's kind of like the blueprint that a lot of people, some people should follow, but they don't. You know,
they want the top first, right?
Yeah, they just kind of like wanna, you know, they wanna just be right in there, but it's a process, and it's kind of like, you know, growing up for the most part. You know, no kid wants to get up in the morning, go to school in the morning, but you know, it's like, listen, man, you can't graduate high school if you don't get through the 5th grade. So
right.
You know?
right.
So I mean, you know, you gotta. These are steps. These are just levels. I mean, if young kids or, you know, teenagers would actually treat school the same way they treat like video games, you know, because, you know, in video games you go through a level,
right.
You know, so it's like, yo, why don't you, you know, treat it just, this is just another level you got to accomplish, and after you accomplish this level, you move on to the next one. They don't do that, you know. But you know, me, I'm not saying I did it exactly perfect, but you know, I kind of treated it like, okay, these are levels, these are steps, and you just gotta, you know, when you master this step, when you master this platform, you move on to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one, and you know, sky's the limit. So
I'm gonna say ahead of time, forgive my Spanish, because I'm gonna probably jack up a lot of these people's names.
Yeah.
I apologize ahead of time. I'm working on it. Okay, don't hold me against me. Okay. Wendell. See.
We sing en Yandel.
That
Yeah.
right. You created a masterpiece with them, because listening to them, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Beast music.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get that with I can dance better than I can pronounce it. All right. But the point is, Grammy Award. When you received it, did you, like, is your intentions ever, anytime you go in the studio, the process of you doing it, is it where you go, I know this is going to take and kill?
Believe it or not, with them, I had that feeling. With them, I actually had that feeling just because the record, the timing of their career, and just where everything was at and what I was hearing. You know, like when I got into the studio with them, they were already in the process, and then Weesing sits down with me and he says, so what do you think about what you heard? And I was like, yeah, we just got to fine tune it here and there. We'll do this, do that. And the ideas kind of just started, you know, coming alive. And then at one point I remember telling him, I said, yo, you know, I think this can like win a Grammy, man. And, you know, but he kind of just like brushed it off like, yeah, you know, no problem. Let's try to get this song done today. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So, and when it actually won, he calls me up. He was like, yo, man, you called it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, but that was just from my experience, believe it or not, from when winning, because remember, I had won a Grammy with Celia before, years before. So, but when I started working with Celia, I didn't know way myself. I literally looked at it like, oh, this is just another gig.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because at that time I used to work for a prominent producer. His name was Sergio George, and I was his engineer. And he was just like, you know, Marioso, we're gonna start working with Celia. I was like, oh, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Cool. But for me, it was just another gig.
Right.
And you know, I treated it as such. You know, went in, did my job, did what I had to do, and next thing you know, Sergio comes walking in the room one day. He has Billboard magazine. He was like, "Yo, your name's in Billboard." I was like, "Where?" He goes up the center page, and he goes, "Right here, our Latin album of the year." And I was like, "Whoa,
dang,
like
That's huge.
So 7 times you won a Grammy. So,
yeah, between Latin and American, yeah."
So is there? I don't want to, I guess, make you pick one, but what do you feel is your greatest accomplishment?
Tego Calderon.
Okay.
The last one. There was just
Check.
something about this last one, man.
Mhm.
There was just something about that Grammy, man. And I mean, I've never shed tears after winning a Grammy,
Oh,
but
wow.
that one I did.
Oh wow. Why'd it hit you so hard?
I don't know. Maybe it was just because everything we went through to get there.
Right.
You know, not just myself and producers like Neti and El Santos, but Tego as well. You know, everything we was going through just to get there. Like I remember when we were all in the studio together, we forgot about everything. We were just in the studio working, and when the record was done, you know, it was like, okay, wait, we gotta actually go back to reality now. And it was just so. You know, that like we had moments like that, but I remember when after we finished mixing the album, we went to mastering. There was like maybe like a month and a half between going to mastering because Tego had some prior obligations on the road. So when we all got together in New York, because I remember he flew in from Colombia to do the mastering. He flew in that morning and he went straight to the mastering lab, and we were all in the city together, mastering together. And that was like, it kind of like all kind of came back again. It was like, yeah, we just forgot about the whole world and everything. And we were just having a good time and working all together again and making final decisions. And then the record comes out, you know, and it gets these rave reviews, you know, on the underground, his underground scene. But I guess when when the people who vote in the Grammys, they heard this record, I think they kind of heard something that not even we were like, you know, I guess maybe they heard us having fun, really.
Right.
And next thing you know, when he wins that Grammy, I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? You know, we went through a lot to make that record. We went through a lot in between making that record. So it was well deserved, you know.
Is there anything you can impart to young and up and coming producers that help them to understand what the process looks like for doing what you do? Because not everybody is like, you know, Jordan. Not everybody's gonna be Jordan.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's gonna be a Marioso.
Patience. A lot of patience, and you gotta have tough skin in this game, man. You gotta have tough skin, and you know, it's funny. I was reading something that Easy Mo B wrote one time on the he wrote it on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and I was reading it, and it was deep what Easy said. He was like, you know, whatever happened to the days of being told that's not good enough, but do it over.
Word.
You know, and it's just like we don't do that enough anymore. He was saying, and I so agreed with that. You know, 'cause I remember when we used to go to recording studios, and we used to be there for hours tracking vocals, and now I get guys telling me, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the studio. I should be done in like an hour and a half. And I'm like,
Hey.
what the hell you doing? Like, you know, like
Instant music, right?
yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, you know, anybody will tell you, and they will tell you too. I've had him, like, I've been in the studio with him, and I've had him like, he goes, what do you think? And I go, you know,
Nice.
He walks out, smokes a cigarette. He goes, all right, let's hear it again. And we'll listen to it again. We'll nitpick, and then he'll literally
Nice.
go in and from top to bottom, and we'll record the whole thing from top to bottom. So yeah, we'll be there probably like about 6 hours on a song, but it's tight after it's done, you
Nice.
know.
For sure.
And there's a good chance that he may turn around and says, you know what, I want to change that verse. And I don't tell him no, I encourage it. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
If it don't work, we don't use it. We still got the other one. Why not?
Right. That's a fact.
You know, and but that's something that these young kids, you know, they may not catch that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They see it as more like, but why? No, just do it, man. It's just, at the end of the day, a producer used to tell me this, it's just music. You could always do it over.
Right.
You know, it's just music. You just do it over. You know,
Right.
You know, it's not final. You know, until the record comes out.
Right.
And you know, even then, you know what I'm saying? How many times has the record been ready to come out and they were, what? Wait,
Yeah.
we got to take that back. Hold on, and you know.
Right.
I also blame a lot of these door programs too, man. That makes things so easy for a
You
lot
know,
of these
man,
artists.
I'ma
It's like
keep it real with you.
FL Studio for one, man.
I can't hate on FL Studio because that whole Wisin and Yandel was done on FL Studio, so I can't really hate on FL Studio. It's very creative.
I mean, it has its pros and cons.
It's got exactly. But I mean, the big problem I think is these kids, if you listen to some of the things that they're trying to do or accomplish, it's it's not saying it's bad,
right,
but it's simple.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's bad.
It's simple.
Yeah, you ain't gotta say it. I'm gonna say it.
No, I wouldn't. I can't say it's
no,
bad,
I can't.
because I remember growing up. And being told just banging on the table.
Yeah.
Banging on the table is like that sounds like trash.
Hold up, wait, no. But the reason why I said it is because if you look at when you get people like Yachty, and I'm gonna talk about you again, they walk up there and somebody says, "This is your craft, use it," and you can't do it. Something's wrong with that. If I tell somebody, you tell me you can sing, sing. You can't do it. Well, that means your craft in and of itself may not be what it's supposed to be. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But all in all, being what it is, when I look at some of the things that you've done instrumentally for the music game in and of itself, one of the things that I think, and especially with Celia Cruz and people like Tito Puentes and people of that nature, I think they didn't get, quote unquote, the things that they were supposed to get from the actual process as far as getting the awards that they should have.
Yeah, I mean,
they more or less like.
Remember, in that era, they didn't really make the Latin Grammys until 2000.
Right.
So that's one reason. Another reason is also, there was really, people knew of Latin music, but there was no
real platform
to expose it.
Right.
And remember the first Latin stations were small, weren't even stations. There were small shows on an AM channel.
La Mega.
Even before La Mega.
Right,
Even before La Mega.
right.
There used to be a station back in the day. I remember it was called Super Kaku.
Wow.
Okay, I remember that station growing up. That's like one of the few places you could hear Latin music. And I remember, there was that. And then I remember before La Mega was called La Mega. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was called something else. And then they called it La Mega. And I was like in the mid 90s. And then it kind of like took off. And then they changed the name from La Mega to La Nueva Mega. I don't know what was the purpose of that one. But then they ended up going back to La Mega again.
Right.
And then now you have more stations and stuff like that of that nature. But remember, at one point in time, they used to only have these small outlets and these small AM stations. And when you really think about it, they actually broke records a lot harder then, because there was no platform, and they still used to manage to break these records. And they used to have to break them not by word of mouth and by performance.
Right.
And let me tell you something. For you guys who like to watch YouTube, there is nothing like seeing a live performance of no matter what artist it is.
For sure.
I saw Tito Puente live. It was an extravaganza.
Listen, man, one of the illest shows I ever saw live was Nice and Smooth. Okay, and they brought the choir with them.
Wow. Okay.
And they had brought the choir with them. And I never forget, like, being so blown away. I remember I was in a club. I was underage. Listening, they were playing, and yo, man, when they came out to the whole ba 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 ba, but the choir was singing it, and I was just like, whoa, what is? It was like this blew me away, and I was so impressed by that. And I was like, yo, you know what? I found a newfound respect about Nice and Smooth. And people used to be like, oh, that Nice and Smooth is it. I was like, listen, man, until you see them live and you feel that energy, you're never going to get it. And that's what Latin music had. Latin music has a lot of that energy. And there was no denying. I mean, think about it. It wasn't just one artist. It was an artist and it was a band. You know what I'm saying? And so there was some positive energy popping up.
What we like to do here also is find out, you got anything that's coming down the pike that you want to let us know about? Exclusives.
I got a song there with the new group from Colombia. I worked on this track. Now open it up. Huh? Nothing on it.
we'll work on that, getting that exclusive back up here. But
Hold on, what was that? Okay, all right.
Well, we'll work that process out where we can get the music up here. But I definitely wanted to thank you for coming up, and I appreciate you showing up. Once again, taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're in the studio as we speak currently, doing incredible things, making things happen. So definitely, please come back anytime. You're a friend to the show, and we appreciate having you here. And we definitely will get some of those hits on, because I tell people all the time, you know, music in and of itself is universal and changes lives just by the things that are said. And for a person of your caliber to be here, you know, a Grammy Award-winning producer in our building, we greatly appreciate having you here and imparting the knowledge to the young people out in the world and giving them some focus.
Definitely, man.
Hey, before you leave, where can people find you?
You can find me at all my social media platforms is Marioso316. That's the Gram, Twitter, as well as Facebook. But Marioso316, Marioso316.
Here we go.
And I appreciate you having you.
All right, man.
As you can see, there's a lovely young lady to my left at this moment who's definitely here in the building. We're going to keep the ball rolling, because I'm telling you right now, the flavor, the process for having people here every week is different, and we're bringing something sexy in the studios at this moment. We have Miss Vina Love.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Miss Vina Love, I found you on the ground, and I've been watching, and you know, as I did with Mr. Chris Rivers, which is, you know, Pun's son. I'm gonna tell people who your father is, and a lot of people my generation, I don't know, he might not know, but your father is Kid Capri. And how, you know, great is it to have a dad that promotes his daughter? Because that's how I saw that you were actually doing stuff. He said, you know, in one of his podcasts, or should I say on Periscope, said, yo, go check out my daughter, Vina Love. You know, she got a project going on, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And when listening to you, I'm like, wow, an angel's in the building. You know, not too many people do I know that have that, you know, vibe that I'm vibing with. And I'm hearing, you know, R&B from when I was like young, like you got that soul in you. So tell people about the song Air.
Air. Okay, so I had went in the studio with producer Motif alumni from DITC Studios, and I was actually writing a project for Rihanna. We did 5 songs in a 2-week span. So 2 weeks we were in the studio every single day, like 6-7 hour sessions every day, just writing songs from scratch, making beats from scratch. So that's where that song came from. Out of the 5 songs, we sent 3, and I made a decision to keep 2 for myself, and Air was one of them. Air was actually the second to last song we recorded, but we like made that in a day, recorded it in a day, and it was done and out the window. It was one of those songs that like, okay, we did it, let's move it over. But when we played it for everybody else, it was like, yo, that's hot. So we listened to it a little bit more and was like, oh, okay, let's fix some stuff, and I ended up keeping it.
Because
God bless you.
R&B, I don't know what it is
Yeah,
today.
it needs some saving right now.
Everybody cursing in R&B. I remember when R&B used to talk about love and happiness. Now people, mother, take your drawers off. It's like, what the hell?
I gotta ask you. Is that song about anybody? Is it, you know?
Well, again, I was writing it for just like Rihanna, so it really wasn't in relation to me, but it could be.
It could be.
Definitely could be.
Well, I guess what he's trying to get at, are you involved with anybody at this
Yeah.
moment?
She was trying to get at.
Well, that's what you was asking, and in a nice way. Anyway.
But yeah, definitely could be about somebody, definitely.
Okay.
No doubt.
Tell people, what's the name of your project?
Well, I haven't actually gotten there yet. No. What I'm doing right now is
So we got an exclusive to an exclusive?
Yeah, that song's actually not even out. Like I haven't released it yet. Flex played it, and then you guys, and that was it really. I was just sending it out to see like what responses I would get before I put it out. So yeah, it
Nah, that
hasn't
joint's
released
hot.
yet.
It's hot.
Fire.
It's definitely
you.
hot.
Word.
Thank you.
And I tell everybody that there's a process that not everybody has. I don't play everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put everybody on this station. I don't just do it because you got a song. Yo, man, I got a song.
Uh-huh.
I want you to, you gonna pump that up.
Right.
No. Your music has to be about something. And when I listened to you, I was like, wow, she's taking me back to the day when R&B had a feeling. It had a vibe. It had, love in it, and it spoke to something. And I see you got party tracks out there too.
Yeah.
That birthday joint kind of threw me for a loop. You was in the club,
Yeah.
getting it in. Yeah. But tell people from the project that you currently have, what are you looking to, quote unquote, do with that?
Well, for the most part, I want to do exactly what you said, make people feel again. Everything is like, music now is like, turn up, but there's no emotion. Like people, even now in my generation, people don't know how to feel anymore. So that's what I want to bring back, a feeling.
Okay.
Can you speak on some of your influences growing up and where you at now?
Definitely my parents, for one, because they kept the music rolling in my life. Like my dad and my mom. Like my dad was the music part, but my mom always kept me in like performing arts school, always kept me dancing. So
Right.
rhythm has always been a part of my life. And then it went into writing. I was always like pushed in school to make sure my homework was done. So for me, that's where I got a lot of my writing from, because I was always in workshops and stuff like that. And in terms of musicians, I want to say singers, Etta James, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, of course Temptations, Delphonics. Like I could keep going for days.
Right.
And when you said Etta James, that actually took me for a loop because, these are people who are prolific in the game, who had strength in numbers as far as, having soul and having power in their voice.
Right.
And when I listen to you, you actually take me to that genre.
Thank you.
And listen, I can't even praise you enough for being who you are, starting out as young as you are in this game, and basically going to bring us to the next level of what R&B is supposed to be. Because like I said, I'm tired of hearing cursing in R&B. Take it back, people. Love. What happened to the love? And a name like Vina Love, definitely explains where the passion comes from for your artistry. And I really want to tell people, where can they find you on social media?
My Instagram is Vina_Love, VINA_LOVE. Same thing for Twitter and Facebook.
No doubt.
So definitely be on the lookout. We got the exclusive here aired, and hopefully we'll be getting some more exclusives because, like I said, this young lady is one of the most profound, prolific young people that I've met in a long time. Seeing her growing her artistry, having the foundation that you have with your father and your mom. I appreciate them producing such a beautiful R&B princess that's going to take over the game.
Thank
For sure.
So thank you for showing up.
Thank
you for blessing
being
us.
here.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt.
And guess what, folks? We're getting ready to come to an end. So once again, it's your boy Mac357 and your boy
Big Chuck in the building.
This is the evening experience from 6 to 7 every Thursday. Get it in, tell a friend, tell a mother, tell a brother, tell another. We're going to be here doing what we do best and coming into your homes, your hearts, and your minds, and bringing you people such as this young lady right here.
Holla.
Once again, it's your boy Mac357. This is the evening experience. And one of the sponsors for our show is the Barbecue Rib House in Mount Vernon, New York, 529 Gramerton Avenue. You can give them a call at 914-665-3490 if you're looking for some of the best barbecue in Westchester. I'm telling you, finger delicious. I mean, succulent. Anything that you want, from pork, from beef, from rib, from chicken. All farm animals for that motion. You definitely want to check them out at the Barbecue Rib House, Mount Vernon, New York, 529 Gramerton Avenue. Once again, check out my boy Marcel Koenig, Barbecue Rib House at Facebook.com.